We welcome candidates from the 9th General Assembly Legislative District. Our viewing audience is seeing a map of the district. Let me introduce the candidates, starting with candidates for State Senate. Mr. Jim Adams, Democrat. Senator Alan Kittleman, Republican. Candidates for the House of Delegates, Legislative District 9A are Ms. Mary Ann Marr, Democrat. Mr. Jonathan Weinstein, Democrat. Delegate Gail Bates, Republican. Delegate Warren Miller, Republican. We will go directly to questions prepared by the League, our partners, and the public here at the Community College Smith Theater. You can choose not to respond to any question. We ask that you limit your responses to 1 minute. Our timers will indicate 30 seconds and stop. In your view, what are 2 critical issues facing the incoming General Assembly members?
Okay, I'll go first.
Mr. Weinstein?
Yes, thank you. It's going to sound a little bit like a broken record, but the budget and job creation, specifically though on the budget, as a business owner whose business is focused on improving government performance, I think we can start right there with finding ways for our state government to be much more effective in how they spend our tax dollars. I would introduce legislation that would encourage our state employees to find those savings and return that money back to the state coffers. In the state of Washington, they did that at the tune of $50 million in just the first year of a program like that. Job creation is obviously key, but the key to job creation is investing in our education. There's a direct correlation between a high-quality education, high-quality jobs, high-paying jobs, and then a stable tax base from which to draw. We need to look at job retraining to weather the storm that we're in right now. And we need to support small businesses like my own with just 14 employees. We can certainly use the support, though I would say that we're quite capable of succeeding without it. Thank you.
Thank you. Another? Mr. Adams?
I'm reminded of a title for a song. It was something like just the same old song. And again, I repeat what John is saying. It is jobs and it is the economy. I think we address this by looking at what we're best at and where our strengths are. If I look at that, I think most of you would probably admit, even though you don't think of it, that education has been where our strength is. It's where our interest is. It is something that we have really honed almost to a perfection here in Howard County. There will be future jobs and they will need to be educated people. And I think that's how we pull ourselves out of this.
Thank you. Delegate Bates?
Thank you. The Tax Foundation has ranked Maryland 45th in overall rank for business climate, for small business climate. Part of that has to do with the fact that our unemployment tax rate is so very high. Over the last several years, there's been expansion to the unemployment rolls, and all of that's being paid now by the small businesses in Maryland. Many of them, their rates have tripled and some even quadrupled over the last year. And this high rate is going to be going on for quite a while. That's one thing. We need to work on the business climate. We also need to get the runaway spending under control. And I've been working steadily for that for the last several years as the ranking member of the Appropriations Committee.
Thank you. Any other responses? Yes, Ms. Marr?
Yes, thank you. Like we've been hearing from a lot of candidates this evening, I do think the budget and jobs are the most pressing issues that legislators will face in the coming year. Finding ways to fully fund our long-term obligations. You are hearing that we have looming pension obligations that we will need to fund and find a way to bring under control. We have a commission looking into this pension issue, and I think we will need to listen very seriously to their recommendations, roll up our sleeves, and act on those recommendations and find a way to fund these long-term obligations that we have.
Thank you. Thank you. Delegate Miller?
I look forward to working with Governor Ehrlich when he's elected to create a pro-jobs environment. I look at the recent decision by Northrop Grumman to go to Virginia. That wouldn't have happened if Bob Ehrlich was our governor. I also look at all the wasteful spending at the state level, Alan, Gail, and I worked very hard over the 4 years to try to bring fiscal responsibility to Maryland. We just don't have the help we need. Hopefully with this election we'll get it, and I look forward to having some real dialogue in Annapolis about how we can spend less and help our families that are in rough shape right now. Thank you.
Senator Kittleman.
Thank you very much. You've heard it, jobs and government spending. We enacted some really huge job-killing taxes in 2007. We did it knowing we were coming up with a recession. Now, how stupid was that? We told the leadership, we told the Democrat one-party rule in Annapolis, why would you possibly raise taxes on businesses when we're coming to a recession? And they didn't care. They even enacted a computer services tax. They voted for that thinking it would be good for the state. Now, they repealed it three months later after they realized what a stupid idea it was. But that's what we have in Annapolis. We have one-party rule where people make decisions without understanding how it affects our economy. And government spending. We raised taxes historically to fix a deficit, but at the same time created many new programs. We have a government that doesn't understand what it means to not spend. You have to do it at home with your budgets. I have to do it at home with my budget. Why can't we learn to live within our budget? Thank you.
Thank you. Regional transit service is really needed. How can the General Assembly enable it to happen over the next 4 to 10 years? Any responder? Anyone for that question? Mr. Adams?
I hate to throw a wet blanket on the transit services, but my understanding is that they do have an operating account, and yet they can only cover about 35% of it with the fees that they earn currently. I think before we do anything in the future with transit, we should address what we have currently. I think we should try to put it into a better position where we're covering expenses at a much greater level. And we're also providing services that people enjoy using. You can create a transit system, but if nobody wants to use it, what worth does it have?
Delegate Miller.
Thank you. We have a very dangerous road in northern Howard County. It's Maryland Route 32 north of I-70. We've had 4 fatalities in just over a year. And I was very proud to stand up on the House floor this last session and propose an amendment to take $1 million from sound barrier construction in Howard County and use that money for a safety study. The Democrats in Annapolis thought that was a bad idea. We have people dying on our roads. We have no focus. We have a county executive last year that could have made it the top transportation priority. He didn't do it. I'm hoping this year the focus changes, but the other thing I noticed in this regional transit facility we built, a multi-million-dollar facility in Howard County, that money could have gone to making Maryland Route 32 safer, and who knows, we may have had fewer fatalities because of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else to respond?
When it comes to transit, we do need to make it a priority, especially in this region. It's a quality of life issue for so many people that do commute long ways to their jobs. I think it's a matter of priorities. We do need to protect the fund that funds a lot of our transit projects. And as most people know, when it comes to transit, it needs long-term planning. And so we need to plan now for the needs of tomorrow. We do have a lot of jobs going into Fort Meade, and there will be a serious transit issue along Route 32. There is a serious issue which needed to be addressed many years ago before the safety issues became so severe. So it is paramount to stay focused on long-term planning when it comes to transit.
Any other responses to that? Okay. Senator